Welcome to EMO-Cast, an entertainment podcast where two therapists break down the emotional content of music from the emo punk scene and promote mental health help seeking. I'm Mary, licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm Paige, a licensed marriage and family therapist. Please note, this podcast is not meant to serve as professional advice or therapy. If you are in need of mental health support, we fully encourage our listeners to connect with a licensed mental health professional to receive the support needed.
Welcome back to EMO-Cast. I'm Mary.
And I'm Paige.
And it's been 5 million years since we last released an episode, but we're ready. And I know we say this every time, but we're going to actually do it more consistently, putting it in writing, in stone, and in video for the first time.
If we do it on video, now we better do it.
Yeah, no, I think that's the part that's going to make it actually work. We're doing a video. You can see our eyes. We have to tell the truth.
Honestly, what would make it even like more commitment is if it was just like live and we had no other choice and it was just automatic. Like that would be true commitment.
Absolutely. So maybe we'll do a live. Can we do live on? Yes, we can on TikTok. We could do that one day.
We do live on TikTok, probably the Instagram. I think Facebook does live. There's like this other streaming thing we can talk about after the show that I know that like automatically uploads and like is live to other social media things. So we're just bouncing some ideas off of each other as as we get back into this thing.
Yeah, and if you are interested in a live, go ahead and comment on whatever thing you're listening to us on or watching us on to let us know what you would want us to review, like what song, what topics you might want us to answer. And I think we can make it happen, I believe.
I think so too.
So today we are diving into a Mayday Parade song. So we are looking at one of their most recently released songs. It might be the most recent, more like a crash.
Yeah. I looked at the music video yesterday. Have you seen the music video for it?
I don't think so. I think I just saw like, you know how like on Spotify sometimes they like show you little clips.
Yeah.
I think I saw like little clips.
Okay. Spoiler alert, like it's about mustaches. There's mustaches in it and stuff. So have that to look forward to.
Well, and when we go on our little break and we listen to the song, I'll pick video so I can watch that. So, kind of thinking about memories for Mayday Parade. Can you remember the first time that you saw Mayday Parade?
Oh God, the first time? I can't remember the first time, but it like has to be at a Warped Tour. Now, which Warped Tour? I don't know. I mean, I started going in 2006, so whenever their earliest one that they had went to, I probably was at, but maybe not in, because when they released Lesson in Romantics, how old were they then? Like they were around doing stuff, right?
Well, it's that album, according to Spotify, was released in 2007. So
okay, then I probably saw them in 2007. Honestly, yeah, yeah, but I don't remember at all, so I can't say much about it.
The part that, like, the first time that I saw them, like, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, was that real? Like, did that happen? And
was it a dream?
Yeah, well, you know when you have those memories where it's like kind of foggy, but it's like really cool, and it's like, did my brain make that up?
Or yes, was that that's pretty much my whole life, Mary.
Well, yeah, so you can relate. So, but I really do think it happened. It was a local like festival that happened with our radio station in South Florida, the Buzz Bake Sale. And this was one of the first ones that I went to, I think.
Wait, so what year was that? Because did we go to the same damn Buzz Bake Sale again and not know it?
Probably. I mean, I think I went to every Buzz Bake Sale from like 7th grade, which would have been around like 2006, 2007 to whenever that ended. Like, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. At least when I was living in South Florida. So the years between 2006 to 2012.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I was there every year.
Yeah. So so that was pretty early on and when they were releasing stuff. So what was it like seeing them there?
Well, what I remember is someone I was there with, like someone I went to high school was like, "Hey, like have you heard of Mayday Parade?" And I said, "No." They're like, "Oh yeah, like they're a Florida band, you know, like they're so good, let's go see them." And it was like, and this is the foggy part of my memory. I'm like, I don't really 100% know, but I think it was like literally like a makeshift stage on the left of like the main stage at what was Coral Sky Amphitheater. And like in my head, I'm picturing like it was like pallets or like literally like wood stacked up and like you know them playing music and yeah, I just remember being like, oh yeah, this is like really good, really fun. I'm pretty sure that was the first time I saw Mayday Parade, unless my brain completely made that up, but I don't think it did.
It
I think
doesn't
that
sound made
was
up. It has a lot of details in it.
yeah. Well, my dreams are very detailed too, so
That is very true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I think the first time, and then also like I think just in high school they became pretty big, at least at my school. Like I remember like in the beginning of the day and like the news that would play like that students made. I remember one day Jersey came on and was on the student news, so like they were pretty big at our school.
What? That's freaking
Mhm.
cool. What kind of
Yeah,
school allowed you to just, like, play music like that on the TV?
I don't know.
No screening or anything either? Like
I mean, maybe there was screening. I don't know. Probably teachers oversaw the kids doing the student news, but
yeah. Oh, that sounds
Mhm.
like a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely.
Mhm.
Any other memories that you have of Mayday Parade, or just time seeing them? Things that
Yeah.
stand out to you.
I mean, back in 2016, I got to see them for their anniversary tour of
Mm.
my favorite album of theirs, The Tales Told by Romantics or something like that. I don't see, it's my
Mm.
favorite album, but I can't even give you the full like title of what
Well,
it's called.
it's long.
It
It's a
is.
long title. You can still be a fan and not know the exact words.
Yep, that happens a lot for
Mhm.
me.
Yeah.
So yeah, I got to see them. They were actually playing at the Social, really, really small place in Orlando.
Yeah.
Um, like if you can, I don't know, it can't hold like that many people. Like
Mhm.
you're basically up at the stage with the band looking up. Like
Mhm.
everywhere is general admission. So,
Yeah.
um, it was really cool. Um, and I had a lot of fun.
Nice.
They got to play like their whole anniversary of like all of the songs on it, and it was
Mm.
just a blast. Loved it. Love seeing them live.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. I've been to the social before too, and I love like intimate settings like that. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
And yeah, just thinking back, like I was trying to recall like all the times I've seen them, and I feel like most of the times I've seen Mayday Parade, it has been like a festival, whether it was like Warped Tour or Sad Summer Fest, but they're always so fun to
Mm.
see. And I feel like their songs are great songs to just belt out and sing along to or dance along to. But one memory in particular, like I remember the very last Warped Tour they played. I'm pretty sure they did a tribute to, well, just like Warped Tour in general, but they played a Blink 182 song and had some people come in, like other band members from other bands come on.
That's
And
cool.
yeah, like that stands out. And I thought that was really cute. Like I loved a lot of the bands. The last Warped Tour did like little tributes and like talked about the meaning of Warped Tour. And I think that,
Oh,
that my heart still feels that.
definitely.
Yeah. And then living in Tallahassee now, I've lived here 3 years. Doesn't feel like it because it started in COVID, but in the past like yearish or so, there's been more, events going on in Tallahassee, and it's been exciting to see that the singer of Mayday Parade, Derek, he goes to a lot of like local events, and I've had the pleasure of attending some of those, like emo night trivia, which I did terrible at, like very specific questions. I thought I knew emo, I did not. I guess.
So we
Um,
would lose.
yeah, no. I just brought Michael, my boyfriend, and yeah, we didn't do so well, but it was still fun to be there. And Derek was there and did just like a little acoustic song there, just one song, but that was fun. It was like tied into the trivia question. And then also he did a solo show, like acoustic set at one of the local venue bars in town. Yeah, and that was great. Like that made me
I
very
love
happy
that.
to be able to sing along and be there. And my mom was actually in town that weekend too, so she got to enjoy it.
I
Yeah.
love how your mom is always like down to rock out. Like I think when we were at When We Were Young Fest last year, I think she was even more excited that Jamie All Over was playing and
Uh-huh.
like when they said drove out to see Las Vegas, like remember her just being so excited.
Yeah, no, that was just so cool. Yeah, her excitement, and I think it was like a felt sense of like, oh yeah, like we just saw them like at our little venue in Tallahassee, and they're successful and well known, and then just
Yep.
that little match too of like this is a big venue in Las Vegas, like huge, and getting to sing that lyric alongside them. Yeah,
Yeah, it was cool. It was dope.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, anything else that you kind of wanted to share that came to mind?
Um, I know that like some cool memories that happened, like in association with Mayday Parade is I used to like fiddle on the piano, like trying to look up like a bunch of sheet music, like
Mm,
Miserable at best, of course, is like
yeah.
on the internet somewhere, and
Mhm.
in my big pile of piano notes in there, and just like playing around fiddling and trying to like sound like them,
Mm.
never singing along because I cannot play
Oh.
and sing. I don't know how
Mm.
any artist does it. Kudos to
Mm.
y'all, but I cannot do that. But just like
Mm.
playing around, I always love doing
Mm.
that. I love that they had the aspect of piano in their music, so I think that's what drew
Mhm.
me to them a lot too.
Mhm. Yeah, it is really beautiful hearing the songs with piano as the bass. And with that, that maybe could be inspiration for a live someday.
Mm,
Yeah.
volunteering me,
Yeah.
volunteering me to just play piano for everybody. Maybe. I mean, I
I would
might.
sing it. You could play Miserable at Best. I could sing it.
That would be fine as long as I'm not singing. That is okay with me.
Yeah, I think so. And then yeah, the last thing I was just gonna say is that I feel like I just have so many good memories of singing Mayday Parade in my car, and actually the only like one of the only CDs that I have, and don't know where I got it or when I got it, but I have a lesson in romantics on a CD just in my car, and every once in a while, like
Oh,
if my phone isn't working, like that's the one I'll pop in
that's
to the CD
cool.
player and sing along to. And I think one of my favorite songs to really just like let it all out is off of that album, and it's If You Wanted a Song Written About You. Like that one just has such a good bridge, such
Hmm.
a good release, and yeah, great song to drive and cry to if you need.
Yes.
So with that, I think it's about time then to get into our song for the day.
Hmm. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
So like you said earlier, it's going to be more like a crash. So we'll take a little break and listen to it while we let you guys listen to it, and we'll just kind of decode it after that.
Yeah, break it down. See you there.
All right.
All right. Well, welcome back. We just listened to More Like a Crash by Mayday Parade, watched the music video, and we're ready to jump into it.
I feel like before we jump into it, I got a really crazy idea.
What's that?
I feel like in honor of the music video, if you haven't seen the video yet, it's
Mm.
about mustaches again, as I said earlier.
Ooh, such a good idea.
And you know, we should that's not a great one, but it's something. Well, got a little mustache going. Oh, that's not a great. Oh, wow. So, hopefully I'm making everybody with wow, that's a good mustache, Mary.
Thanks. It's real.
Well, we'll have to find out if the music blows the mustache off or not.
Yeah. Well, I think it won't. So
Yeah.
wash off.
I think mine can wash off easily. We'll see. Um, so as everyone can probably tell, our hats are matching, our beanies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know if you can tell from your side of the video. I thought I was doing it on the same side. Do we have it on the same side? Because I look opposite of you. I can't tell.
That is so weird. Like, does it
That
reverse our reflections for each other?
that's what I'm wondering. Because
Mm.
I have my yellow side on the right side of my head. Do you have yours on the right side of
Yeah.
your head? Okay.
Hmm.
So I think we put on the same way.
Cool. Oh
Anyways.
yeah. So yeah, we're sponsored. Good Day Young. Just kidding. That we saw Paramore last week, and they were giving these out for free, and that was pretty sweet because I was actually considering sitting in line for the merch slide, and I was like, I don't think so. And then we got these for free, so amazing. But
Yep.
big fan of Good Day Young and Haley Williams. So if y'all do hear this one day, want to sponsor us, we're for it.
We're here. We're here for it. We're waiting for you.
Yeah. So yeah, so this song it's new. It popped up my release radar on Spotify. And I'm like, hey, new Mayday Parade. And this is just such a fun song. Like it's just like upbeat. It's got the ooh ooh. You can sing along to. What's your initial reaction to just kind of hearing this song?
I think this is just like if you were to introduce someone to Mayday Parade,
Yeah.
like I think it's really easy to point out their sound and who they are. Like this just carries over so many different albums and different iterations of music they've made. So
Uh
like
huh.
if you listen to this, you will know on a previous album that they sound very similar to this. So like that's just what stands out to me is that like it's obviously Mayday Parade.
Yeah. Yeah, it really is. I think it matches some of their early stuff, but there is kind of like a something different to it as well. I don't know if I can really pinpoint it, but it's something fresh from them as well. So I'm excited to hear their new album. What that's gonna
Yeah.
be like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're on tour. I haven't gotten tickets yet, but I think I am gonna go to the Jacksonville show. So if anybody's out there plan on going to
Nice.
that, you might see me there. Yeah. Um, so yeah, so kind of looking at a song on the first listen, I don't think I really listened too closely. Wasn't really sure, like what all it was about or what it was saying. But I feel like, on kind of the second, third listen, going through, really paying attention to the lyrics, I think it's pretty clear that this is a fun breakup song.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are your reactions to like what
Yeah.
it's about? Yeah.
I mean, that's what I was telling you yesterday after I
Yeah.
listened to it. I was like,
Mhm.
yeah, this is like another cool like rock and breakup song. I'm here for it.
Mhm.
Because I think a lot of emo music gets misconstrued and it's just like whenever it's about something sad or
Yeah.
emotional or something that shouldn't be like perceived as like more upbeat, then like
Mhm.
I don't know, it just gets misconstrued that like all emo music it just like brings you down. But like
Mhm.
this is a pretty cool breakup song where it's like, yeah, all right. It just like it's a good release of emotions. So I like it a lot.
And I think that's also kind of how I define emo music. That it's really just any form of, you know, um, creative art that's music that is portraying a lot of emotion. And I don't think it
Mhm.
has to be negative emotion. I mean, I know that's kind of like the stereotype that it's, more deeper, darker emotions, like sadness, depression, but it's not always, right? Like it could be this wave of you're releasing the sadness, the anger, and merging into, optimism or hope or energy, right? And I think
Oh yeah.
it's like, what I gained from this. And it seems like it's kind of the idea of emerging from a really tough breakup.
Yep. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think so too. Just kind of getting out of this place. Well, I guess we'll go into it. So,
Mhm.
the first part of the song, like you look so much different out of the rear view from this angle
Mhm.
in the back of your head. It looks like a lot like somebody else. So you can imagine just like maybe right after a breakup, you're leaving the house, maybe the person is standing out there like watching you drive away, or maybe they're, even just inside their house, you can kind of picture like being the person leaving, the situation. It's like, oh, I think differently about you now. I think like I don't know who you are. Like it looks a lot like somebody else. Like
Mhm.
I think people can be often like unrecognizable
Yeah.
after her breakup. Like
Mhm.
I always like to use the phrase shattered assumptions.
Mm,
If there
mhm.
was like either news that kind of precipitated a breakup, like a betrayal or something. And so like
Yeah.
the assumption of who you thought they were gets like shattered. You don't know who they are
Mhm.
anymore.
Yeah, I love how you put that. I think that's true. And, I think there is that, metaphor of the rose colored glasses, right? That we might look through in a relationship, especially, as you're kind of getting started and kind of just seeing all of what you love about the person, what's exciting and new about the person. And in the rear view, right after the relationship has ended, that's when, we take the glasses off. I'm thinking Paramore now, right? And
That's what I was thinking too.
we take the glasses off and we can see, right, more layers to the person and who they are and what might actually be, um, unhealthy or, not a ideal match from us to that person or, partner. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hmm.
What else did you think about the first verse? Anything else stand out to you?
Well, let's see. So that last little line. So, and I guess that I could go it alone. Well, if I had to, but I know it's a long way down for nothing. And I think when I hear that, actually, that line of, I guess I could go it alone. I think that maybe is the debate of like, do I just stay single? Do I, go down this road single, doing me right, or do I want to, keep longing for love and searching for love and going down that road. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. So maybe we're like at this climax of the hill where there's a crash of the breakup. And
Mm.
then maybe the going down is like, okay, well, I gotta go down through the emotion, to then kind of come back up to become someone that's ready for a relationship. So that's kind of something that came into my head of like, it's a long way down, to kind of finding myself. And then do I have to come back up to get into a relationship and build up
Yeah.
that energy? Hmm.
Yeah, that's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I like the imagery that you put in there with that because my mind didn't go along with anything like that. Like I like the idea of thinking about it like hills can be a long way down and like that kind of journey of growth can be pretty tough, but I
Hmm.
love how like eventually it levels off. Like the mountain is not infinite.
Uh-huh.
Eventually like there's a part where there's a crash or something
Yeah.
to change the direction, so I like that idea.
Yeah.
I think what came up for me like the and I guess I could go it alone is
Uh-huh.
I pictured this like kind of stubbornness in someone
Yeah.
of like, "Ugh, well, I guess I could go it alone.
Mhm.
I guess I just got broken up with, or I
Yeah.
guess, now I'm single, like
Mhm.
kind of just a more stubborn type of mindset. Like,
Yeah.
well, if I had to, I
Mhm.
suppose I'm here. Um, and then I know it's a long way down for nothing.
Mhm.
So I think like knowing that going it alone um, is like quite a journey.
Mhm.
Like loneliness is a real big issue in life.
Mhm.
We're meant for connection. And
Yeah.
so I think when he's saying like it's a long way down for nothing, he knows like connection is the ultimate thing that he's searching for.
Mm.
So
Mhm.
he knows that like, all right, I guess I'm going to be single, but eventually like I know that I want connection.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. So going to the chorus, right? The first time it comes around, the sight of your eyes got inside of my head. I wanted your heart and got poison instead. I spin around and see nothing but you. I guess it's been a while since I had nothing to do. What came up for you in those lyrics?
Yeah, poor thing. Got screwed over in the
Yeah.
relationship. Sounds like all he wanted was love. All he wanted was to receive love from the partner and to give the love. And it sounds like when even there was like that kind of dynamic that he wanted,
Mhm.
the other partner was not on the same page and not
Yeah.
giving that kind of heart. Like he wanted the heart, but the other partner was just giving bad to him.
Mm.
So it's
Right.
pretty tough, So I spin around and see nothing but you. So it sounds like he's just kind of like plagued by like this partner. Like when there's a breakup,
Mhm.
oftentimes it's not like out of sight, out of mind, and we just don't think
Sure.
about them anymore. Like
Yeah.
kind of become obsessed with the thought of like
Mhm.
what happened, what could I
Mhm.
have done differently.
Mhm.
So I think that's just describing the like, all I can think about is you right now. And
Mhm.
now that I have nothing to do, like, what
Mhm.
do I do to fill my time?
Yeah, yeah. And that is kind of what I thought of as well. I guess it's been a while since I had nothing to do. Like, yeah, like how do I rebuild a relation or rebuild my relationship with myself? And like, what do I
Mm.
want to do? Like, without this person and on my own and what matters to me. Right. Yeah, similarly, right. I think that when I saw and heard that lyric of I wanted your heart and got poisoned instead. Yeah, similarly, like maybe there was like a honeymoon phase, right? Again, like the rose colored glasses were on, and the kind of seeing the heart and longing for that heart and love. But then, the toxicity trickled in, right? Maybe somebody started to show other colors. And it became something that was harmful and
Yeah.
was as not restorative as relationships should be, right?
For sure. For sure.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Right. So, verse 2,
All right.
I'll read that one. So, not that it matters, but I think there was a reason that your life is so shattered. And it's small. Remember how big it used to be. And I guess that I could go it alone if I had to. But I keep thinking that I know it's a long way down for nothing. Yeah.
Yeah. What came up for you in that verse?
So, some of this is repeated, but the piece of, but I think there is a reason your life is so shattered and it's small. Remember how big it used to be. I could imagine that to be something like this idea of like maybe the world in a relationship and kind of like planning for the future and kind of creating this roadmap together, right? Maybe that's like the bigness of the world, right? As a couple, and then in the midst of the separation or breakup, that it becomes a lot smaller, or maybe the circles of friends are a lot smaller, right? And that piece of, again, maybe that toxicity trickling in and causing this separation to then be this idea of like, well, now as the person narrating this, right? That maybe they're saying like, okay, maybe this toxicity and maybe the reason why you brought all this is why your life is kind of in pieces and it's not this stable big world that it once was when we were together. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Like how you talked about the circle of friends, because I didn't
Mhm.
even think about that in this verse. And you're so
Yeah.
right. Like
Hmm.
when you're integrated into someone else's life, I
Yeah.
mean, naturally, you have easier access to just more people for
Hmm.
support. And so like that's interesting how you talked about like the circle of support,
Hmm.
being in the different sizes, whether you're together or not with someone. So I'm glad
Hmm.
you pointed that out. Um, I think I pretty much had the same type of feeling about this verse. Was like I wrote, the singer recognizes that the partner probably has some sort of trauma that they need to work through.
Hmm.
Like they recognize like there's just some stuff going on, and the singer is recognizing the reasons for the breakup and is kind of like coming to a better understanding of it.
Hmm.
um doesn't mean that it's any easier. He
Yeah.
recognizes it's still a long way down. There's still a process of like grieving, of just like adjusting to being single now.
Hmm. Hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, because it is a huge adjustment, any shift in a relationship. Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get the chorus again. I don't know if on the second listen of the chorus, if anything else new came up for you.
I just put that it's probably just weird not having their partner in their life anymore. I guess it's been a while since I've had nothing to do. Think about all the things that you probably did with this partner,
Hmm.
especially if your life was integrated with cohabitation and you were living
Yeah.
together, possibly waking up together, doing routines together, hobbies that you were doing together, maybe hobbies that you once loved or that you were introduced to are now kind of like feeling very different after the breakup. So
Mhm.
they're probably just in this place of like, what do I do with my time now? Like, what
Yeah.
can I find that brings me joy? Because this thing is associated with this person who brought me all this pain right now. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, and as you're sharing that, I mean, similarly, I kind of just had the same thoughts coming up. Just this whole idea again, yeah, like we need to truly fully recover from a breakup, refocus on, well, what is my vision of me, right? And I think that can be a lot of times why clients come to therapy, right? In the midst of a breakup of kind of figure out, okay, well, how can I unpack my world now? Right. And all these emotions and then kind of come out on the other side with this kind of inspiration to continue moving forward down the down the road up the mountain. Right.
Hmm.
I'm curious
Hmm.
if there's anything that, stands out to you and kind of doing that work with clients and being able to explore those types of emotions.
I think like what stands out to me as in like how to kind of do it, like where do
Uh-huh.
you start? I,
Yeah.
I think it's just starting with like trying to figure out, well, what did your life look like before this person?
Mhm.
And what did you like about your life before this
Mhm.
person? Like, what are the types of hobbies that you enjoyed? And then the real beautiful thing after meeting someone and having them into your life and may not feel like it at first, but after the breakup, you can also recognize what beautiful things that they gifted you
Yeah.
throughout the relationship together
Mhm.
that may seem painful at first, but maybe you walked away with a hobby you never thought you would
Mhm.
do. Maybe you
Mhm.
walked away with learning a lot of things about yourself
Yeah.
that you want to just integrate into who you are as a
Mhm.
single person or into your next relationship. So I
Mhm.
think making space for who you were before the person and before you were with this person, and then
Mhm.
making space and grieving and being thankful for and finding what
Mhm.
you can take away from the
Yeah.
breakup as a something just to take with you as part of your identity now.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's wonderful. And I agree. I think that that's something that can be lost a lot of times. Like, well, a lot of people might have this inner tendency to kind of just want to put everything in the trash, right? And not think about the past relationship. But then that leaves so much on the table of, yeah, like, well, this is still, that was my life and that was my person for a time. And what can I gain or have I gained from that, and being able to honor and appreciate that, I think is wonderful. Yeah.
Yeah. As you were saying
Yeah.
that, like what came to my mind is I've
Mhm.
like interacted with people who say like, "Oh, I can't listen to this band anymore," or
Mhm.
"Oh, this song reminds me of them too much. It's too heartbreaking."
Yeah.
And if you really love that band or that
Mhm.
song, that kind of breaks my heart that you can't get to
Yeah.
enjoy that anymore, that it's kind of like almost that they stole it away from you because
Mhm.
they broke up with you. I think that's a really sad thing because I don't think
Yeah.
any band or like any person owns a band or owns
Yeah.
a song or anything like that. Like
Mm.
you are allowed to make whatever association that you want with it. So
Absolutely.
I get real sad when I hear people say like, "Oh, I can't
Yeah.
listen to them anymore." I'm like, make up your own meaning. Like find
Uh-huh.
a new association. Let's still rock
Absolutely.
out if you really love
Yeah.
them.
For sure. Yeah, no, I think that's huge. Yeah, it's being able to claim and take those pieces of you that maybe are reminders of the relationship, and then kind of looking at, okay, well, what is this for me? What can it continue to be for me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I love that.
Mhm. Mhm.
So then coming back, we got the bridge, we got the chorus one more time. The bridge is, brace yourself for the landing. You've got to brace yourself for the landing. More like a crash, more like a crash. Right. And that's that, yeah, that impact point, right? I love that that's at the bridge too. And I think that's the part that took me a minute to
Mhm.
recognize, like, yeah, okay, what does that mean? When I first listened, but yeah, absolutely. This idea that a lot of times breakups are not smooth. There aren't any breaks softly pushing us to the stoplight to stop and then go again, right? It's a
Yeah.
there's an impact. Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's very rare that
Uh-huh.
breakups are smooth.
Uh-huh.
Like, usually a breakup involves one person
Mhm.
in and the other person out.
Yeah.
or something like that, or like maybe one person wanting to try to work on things but recognizing maybe it's not so great, maybe
Mm-hmm.
not. If you two are on the same page and you're wanting to both break up, super, but that doesn't mean that it also won't be a crash or that it'll be a soft landing either. So
Yeah.
I think that just has a really good description of breaking up in general. It's just like boom, like your life is just different now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And you said that really clearly too. Like, yeah, even if it is like mutual and planned, like there's still going to be this strong emotion that comes out, right? Naturally. And I don't even think like sometimes I think people will like when I meet with people or talk with people, right, that have experienced a recent breakup and are struggling with it. I think sometimes there's a lot of comparison. I'm like, oh, well, we were only together, a month, or we were together for 2 years. This person's been together for 10 years. And like, there's like minimization of the experience. And even like, there's no timeline on how you can become attached to somebody and already start to envision, right, next steps together. And so,
Hmm.
regardless, that's a lot of emotion to come to the surface and can feel explosive. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
most definitely. Explosive is another good because like I like that you use that word. Like a crash
Yeah.
can sometimes like I just saw on social media the other day that like there was an explosion on
Mm.
an interstate.
Oh
Like
god.
a crash can have explosions. Like it
Yeah.
crash isn't just about the impact. It's about like all the shrapnel that gets flown in the air
Mhm.
or like so you can think about it like your emotions
Mhm.
exploding. Like that's
Yeah.
probably a good description of what it feels like. Like there's so many different ones, like a volcano, an
Mm.
explosion. So
Mhm.
I like that you said that.
Thank you. Yeah, and
Yeah.
then, wraps up with that chorus and it ends again with that lyric of, I guess it's been a while since I had nothing to do. I guess it's been a while since I had nothing. And so maybe even that piece, right? Like it ends on it's been a while since I had nothing. I wonder if that has another layer of meaning as well. Like not just nothing to do, but like kind of maybe that all or nothing thinking of like, well, I got nothing now, right? That might come up for a brief moment or might linger with certain people of, yeah, it takes a while to unveil all the good that's left and all of the individuality that we have that we can, move forward with.
Yeah, like only seeing things the one way, like having kind of
Yeah.
blinders on. Can you talk a little bit more about like what all or nothing thinking is?
Yeah. So it's sometimes kind of called black and white thinking. We call it thinking traps and cognitive behavioral therapy, right? And thinking traps are really just all these different types of negative thinking that pretty much everybody falls into at one point or another, just kind of dysfunctional thinking, right? It just doesn't help us in any way, isn't grounded in reality or evidence. But black and white thinking is when there is just no in between. Like I'm either all good or all bad, right? I either have everything in this relationship or I have nothing at all, right? And the reason why that's a thinking trap and why it's something to maybe work on if we recognize that in ourselves is because most of the time there is not all one thing or the other, right? There's gray, right? There's the in between of those thoughts of, not I have nothing or everything, right? But I'm going through a hard time and I'm rebuilding, right? Like that's what we work to find that balance of.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, key
Yeah.
word, what you just said is a more compassionate lens.
Yeah.
I've been having a hard time, like
Yeah.
just looking at things instead of that black and white thinking, the all or
Mm-hmm.
nothing, like just being compassionate and recognizing like this is the situation. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
saying that it should be one way or not. It
Mm-hmm.
can feel hard.
Yeah.
And yeah, I like how you phrased that. That was
Thank
great.
you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, I'd say that really wraps up this song and most of my takeaways from it. But I think I say this a lot when we go through the songs. I feel like I like always walk away, even after just talking about it with you, like having such a deeper perception of the meaning of a song. Right. And I think that now this is maybe even a song I might recommend to clients that are into this music of like, listen to this song, allow yourself to let that out, right? And being able to break down the song together.
Yeah, yeah. What came up for me as you were saying that is like, watch
Yeah.
out world. Maybe we'll start having like
Mm.
specific, like curated playlist depending on like different emotional journeys.
Uh-huh. That would be so cool. Yeah. And we got to do it. We're going to make
Yeah, like
that.
EMO-Cast breakup like jams for emo
Mhm.
songs. So
Mhm. Mhm. Could do ones for anxiety. There's plenty of songs about anxiety.
so many. So
Yeah.
many.
Well, this has been great. Yeah, thank y'all for listening. We're going to take our hand at uploading this to some video platforms, or at least YouTube. And, it'll be on Spotify as usual. And if you have any requests, anything you'd like to share with us, feel free to reach out to us on Spotify or on our social media on TikTok and Instagram.
All
Yeah.
right.
All
Super
right.
excited to see y'all.
See you all. Oh, and our mustaches did not blow off. So legit.
I guess they are legit, they lasted throughout the whole song and everything.
Mhm. All right. You will.
All right.
Bye.